Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a fabulous start to the week. This is Anna Sabramowitz, your interactive storytelling coach. Now, if you're here, I applaud you. This is awesome. Thanks so much for joining me. I know Mondays are busy, but today I wanted to talk something that's, I think, a struggle for a lot of us, especially if we are working as freelancers, especially if we're working as a part of a agency like I do. What happens? Customers keep on demanding cheaper and cheaper prices for things, right? And I hear this a lot from people that I talk to, from other freelancers post online. What do you do? Customers want everything cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And so this is going to be a talk about that. This is going to be a
calendar.
Oh,
Follow up. See you
that is Alexa. And sometimes she goes off, man. She goes off. At least she doesn't tell me random jokes. Anyways. So one of the things that I hear quite a bit is people get frustrated saying, I want to be able to go out there, make a living, but I'm competing with all these price reductions. Customers always coming back and they want it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And basically what this talk is going to be about is what are some strategies because to overcome this, and what are some mindsets that you need to adopt, because this is 50-50. Part of it is what your customers are saying. Yes, part of it is what those people who are managing projects are saying, but part of it, and I say maybe a big part of it, is also how you're approaching the situation and the things that you're thinking in order to make that happen. Okay, so if that sounds exciting and interesting and something you might want to dig into a little bit with me, then make sure you stick around. I'm just going to open up my comments. Hey, we got Tabitha visiting. Hi, Tabitha. So wonderful to have you here. Okay, I'm going to have these comments come up. So if you're visiting from someplace that's not my living room, you better say hello. All right. So yeah, pop in the comments where you're visiting from. And also, what are you working on right now? What's like your biggest struggle? I'd love to hear it because, part of these talks is definitely me helping you with crafting an interactive story, making sure that you understand where it fits in the learning ecosystem. Part of it is also, I can teach you all these things, but if you don't know how to sell these projects and you're not walking in with the right kind of attitude, you're not going to get anywhere. All right. So first off, let's start off with a little bit of a shift. Okay. So the first thing I want you to consider is, can you read? You should be able to, hopefully you can see that. Okay. Walmart and Nordstrom, right? I think one of the things that you might consider that is a truth is that the person who shops at Walmart is not the same person who's going to shop at Nordstrom. And the person who shops at Nordstrom might not be the same person who shops at Walmart, right? Not to say that they don't, but the majority of them kind of do. And one of the things that happens is some people are really, thank you. One of the things that happens is that some people attract a Walmart type of customer who's really looking for really, really efficient value for their money, right? Versus a Nordstrom customer. And they're trying to take that Walmart customer and turn them into a Nordstrom customer. And one of the things that also happens is that if you're the kind of person who shops at Walmart, right? If you walk into a Nordstrom, you're going to be like, oh, this stuff is overpriced, right? I'm one of those people. But then what happens is if you kind of shift your perspective and you end up being the person, there's people who like shopping at Walmart because they like to save money and they like to get things that are, no frills, kind of, I get what I need. And then there's people who shop at Nordstrom. Why do they shop at Nordstrom? Because they value service more. They like to see themselves as a person who gets the best, right? They're a person who has just different standards. Walmart person has standards, of course. They're not as concerned about maybe necessarily getting, waited on. They're fine. They're fine as is. They're like get in, get out kind of people, different kinds of things. And also the other thing that changes is different products, right? I might go to Walmart for toilet paper, but when I want some fancy shoes, I might go to Nordstrom. So it depends on the product, depends on the person, it depends on my mood, all kinds of things influence it. But the one thing is, if you're the person who buys shoes at Walmart, I'm not going to turn you into the person who shops at Nordstrom for shoes. It's just not going to happen, right? It's just not, because it doesn't work. Just like if you buy your shoes at Nordstrom, you're not going to go to Walmart to buy your shoes. That's just how it is. And so what I want you to think about it is, because a lot of people say, oh, you know what? Customers are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And I'm like, no. Are there Walmart customers in the world? Absolutely. Are there Nordstrom customers in the world? Absolutely. So if you think that there's only Walmart customers in the world, you're not going to see all the Nordies out there. And there's a reason, is because that's what you're looking for. And, and that kind of bias will happen. There's other reasons why you're also getting people that are asking for cheaper and cheaper and cheaper prices. So lots of reasons. And I've talked to so many designers, so many freelancers that absolutely struggle with this. Let me know if this has ever happened to you. I was talking to somebody a couple of months back, and he was saying that what he does. Oh, hi, Paul. Great to see you here. That's awesome. From Richmond. So what he did is he would put together some amazing stuff for these clients, right? And then what happened is he would also, because he wanted to over-deliver, right? He would over-deliver. And he would deliver in a way that wasn't necessarily scalable for him. And then what would happen is the next project that he got, the customer expected that to be a part of the delivery, even though he offered something that really wasn't as scalable as he wanted to. So what he had to do is, he wanted to wow them in the very beginning, but then it kind of bit him in the butt, because then they were like, oh, we expect that now. And then what happens is now he has to charge, if not necessarily less, and now he is producing more for less. Crazy, right? So you have to be careful about what you're offering people. And the other thing I think you have to think about is that what you value is not what maybe the customer values. Maybe the customer values things that are like the localization will be easy. Maybe the customer values things like upgrading the software will be something that is easy, right? So they value different things than us. And so what he was doing is he was just adding more value that was more man hours on him. But he just kept on getting, every time they'd come back, they're like, can you do it cheaper? Because we're negotiating with all these other people. Now, I will say that a part of you developing work for other people is you being really comfortable with that relationship, right? Those people respecting you and trusting you, right? And if every single time you come back to the negotiation table and somebody's trying to undercut you, they're saying, hey, can you give us a better deal? Can you give us a better deal? Especially if you're an independent freelancer, I'd say that that's not a good relationship that you've got set up, and you probably need to look for other clients. Because the thing is, driving yourself down to the bottom line, there's actually a lot of things that happen that mess you up, right? So think about this. And it's funny because I think that guys, I've been a freelancer for a decade now, and I've taken on projects where I'm like, man, this is so not the work I want to do, but I got to pay the bills. Have I been there? Absolutely. Those projects drain you, though. Those projects just, they really mess you up professionally, because you spend all this time, you spent all this time on things that don't help you grow, and on clients that don't appreciate you, because that's one of the worst thing that happens. Oh, somebody's saying that just happened to you this morning. So one of the things that you got to think about is, okay, what kind of relationship do I have with this person? And I think that, it's even crazy, because the more we take on, right, realistically, the more we take on, especially if you're the one when it's labor intensive, what happens is you end up producing lower quality work, right? You end up doing that because you're spreading yourself too thin. So imagine if all of a sudden you said, my prices are double, right? You doubled your prices. You just did. That's it. Double the hourly rate. And you really shouldn't be working on hourly rates. Double your project rate, double your, whatever it is rate, right? Because one of the things I always push people towards is you're not producing per hour value. You're producing value overall to the organization. And so it shouldn't be based on how many hours you spend on a particular project, because you also bring a ton of experience, right? So I say charge per project, charge per chunk of work done that adds your experience to it. It's not, so you don't have to deal with those things. Because then the minute you start, charging per hour, it kind of, not to say that it diminishes your credibility, but now somebody's looking at hourly rates instead of experience, quality, value, relationship, right? All those things that need to be a part of it. Will there always be people who charge hourly rates on Fiverr and Upwork? Absolutely. Will there always be people who shop at Walmart? Absolutely. Will there always be people who shop at Nordstrom? Absolutely. So you got to start attracting people who value relationships, who value quality, who see themselves as an organization that wants the best. And that's what you're going to have to start manifesting. How do you do that? How do you do that, right? First of all, it's mindset. A lot of people I talk to have this mindset. Let me tell you what it is. It's called scarcity. They think that there's work is going to run out. Like if somebody buys something over here, they're not going to have money to spend over here. And the thing is, it's kind of weird. I thought that way too for a very, very long time. And then I thought, I saw this one place, and this is, I think every city has one of these places for sure, is when I lived in New Westminster, they had this street, and it was basically dedicated to wedding shops. It was all wedding dresses and tuxedos, but mostly wedding dresses, of course, right? And I was like, man, how did these guys survive? Like, but really, when you think about it, it's traffic. It's getting people in. It's getting people to the area, right? So it's like if somebody buys a dress over here, guess what? Their bridesmaids might go across the street and buy something too, right? So there was like 30 stores in one area all selling dresses, and guess what? They were all selling dresses. They just had their own unique thing. So you have to think about that way. It's not like if somebody buys a wedding dress, they're not going to spend money on anything else. Of course they are. If you're a woman, weddings, or if you're a guy in your weddings, there's so much to go around, right? And people spend ridiculous amounts of money just for that, right? So don't worry about scarcity. Think about overall abundance, and all you're doing is you're just dipping in, and some of it comes your way. That's how it works. That's how it absolutely works. Anyways, so here's some tips that I wanted to give you that I see it's funny because I think that some of the stuff I actually used to believe was a good strategy. And now that I've talked to people who have followed these strategies, they don't actually work unless you want to prove me wrong and put it in the comments that it's actually worked out for you. But it has not worked out for a lot of the people that I talk to that use this strategy. So the first strategy is, especially if people are getting into work or they want to work for a certain client who they think has money to spend, what they'll do is they'll do work for free. They'll be like, oh, let me do this for free for you so you can test it out. And if you like it, then we'll work together. This doesn't work. It doesn't work. Every single person that I've known that has worked for free for a client and then expected to now start making money from that client, it has not worked out the right way. And the first thing is, no client who is self-respecting will actually take work from a professional for free unless they're really one of those people who likes to get things for free. And then if they're one of those people who likes to get things for free, the inclination for them to pay you what you're worth is actually absolutely zero, right? So that's what I suggest, is you don't do any work for free. And the thing is, I've heard people negotiate where they're like, listen, if you give me this volume, I'll give you a discount. Sure, that works, but don't undersell yourself so badly that later, if you're coming to the table to renegotiate, you're hoping for more work, that you're going to be on fair ground. You're not, right? It's one of the worst things to do. Don't discount the time and effort that you're going to work for somebody. All right. So never work for free. Always say, listen, I can give you a discount because it's maybe, because I'm new, I'm just getting started. But the thing is that if you're focusing on the value you're going to add, the effort you're going to put in, the relationship you're going to build for later on, don't start that off with you not getting compensated for the work that you do. That's going to set you off on the wrong foot. Okay. And organizations that expect professionals to work for free for them, I'm sorry, those aren't cool people. Because when I talk to people, I don't go, hey, will you work for free for 2 weeks? That's not cool. Everybody's got to feed their family and pay the bills, right? So anybody that asks you to work for free, don't trust them. I'm sorry. We're all trying to make a living, especially when you're a freelancer. There's so many things you got to pay on upfront for yourself. Do not devalue yourself that way. You don't have to work for free. Put in the effort, ask questions, and you can always help somebody. All right. The other thing is that what I suggest is, if your portfolio looks like a smorgasbord of clip art, then you're going to attract people who are just, looking for that kind of stuff. So what I always suggest is graft one really meaningful piece, really meaningful, that speaks, that you've put effort into, that is beautiful, that you've talked about why you made those design decisions. Show yourself off as the real professional you are, right? Do that. And that will attract the kinds of people who are looking for the best. The people who are looking for the cheapest, they might be looking for a person who puts out volumes, right? The person who's looking for quality and the best, and if that's how you market yourself, as a person who takes the time, who adds the value, who asks the questions, and who produces something, right? Not just clip art, is the person who they want to hire. Is there more to this? Oh, hell yeah. There's so many other things. This is what I suggest is, don't work for free. Double your prices if you can. And you should. Whoever stays, it's totally cool. There will be people that leave you, but guess what? The people that stay, you get to focus on them more because they're paying you enough for you to actually be comfortable spending the time with them, delivering that value, which is the best. And then the other thing I suggest is, don't give up after the first couple of tries. In fact, don't give up after the first 50 tries. People are going to say no, and you just keep on asking. Remember Colonel Sanders going around with his chicken formula? He got rejected so many times, but the thing is, he didn't give up. The other analogy I always use is a baby's learning to walk. How many times are you going to say, are you going to try until you give up teaching that baby how to walk? Well, never, right? Until you get your big win. So one of the things you can really do and leverage these platforms is find people who are influencers at the organizations you want to work with. Find places where the projects that those people are working on, like if it's a humanitarian organization or if it's a retail organization, start crafting those relationships before you become, dependent on needing a project from them. Build some relationships, see what they're going for, so that when you come in, you don't seem like it's just another freelancer and vendor who's looking for a way to pay the bills. You're actually somebody who understands the business, has some connections, has talked to people in the organization. It's relationships, it's networking. And so that's how deals are still made. So that's really it. It's about relationships. Are you going to, weed out some people and some people are never going to talk to you again? That's fine, right? Yes, that's reality, right? But also you're going to start working on projects where people value your time and people are paying you for the value that you deliver. So that also means that a lot of the times you have to bring up your skills so you can deliver the kind of value they're looking for. It's no longer going to be a chop shop, right? You're going to have to actually hunker down, craft things that mean a lot, iterate on those things, and actually deliver on your promises, right? That's what's going to have to happen. But that's awesome, right? Because there's a lot of people who are okay with chop shops. There's a lot of people who buy from chop shops. But there's also people who buy bespoke, who buy storytelling, who buy interactive scenarios, and absolutely see the value and then see the impact, right? So hopefully that was helpful. I just wanted to get that out there because I'm hearing a lot of people say, everybody's getting cheaper. Everybody's, I'm haggling. They're driving prices down. And I know of projects all the time happening where the prices are beautiful. They make the customers happy because they're getting an amazing product and value and relationship and that customization that they want. And then the person who's developing it feels good because they feel like somebody's paying them for their expertise. And also at the same time, they're doing work that they find creative, satisfying, and that actually helps them build a skill set that they can use in the next project. And that's what this is all about, right? Is not just a one-off, but actually building that skill set over time, investing in yourself, right? Because that's what every project should do, is push you to get better every time. You guys, I just wanted to say, I know it's Monday and it's busy. I just wanted to thank you for hanging out with me and listening to my little rant. Hopefully you found it useful. If you did, make sure you like the video because then you get to see more. But throughout this week, what I wanted to do is just really address the questions that are coming in and some of the challenges that I see people having when I talk to them one-on-one. Now, if you have any questions about how interactive storytelling works and, how you can use this for myself, even, how I came from a designer coming from a place that was, converting slides into interactive slides to somebody who now does interactive storytelling for a living and works to teach other people how to do this for themselves as well. Then make sure you check out elearningsecrets.com. There I have basically a 2-hour case study, and it'll teach you how to apply this framework in your own work. And if you want more help, then you can definitely talk to me. I think there's a link there to check out what my calendar is looking like and see if you can book a session that works for you. So have a wonderful rest of the day. You better go out there, kick butt, don't take no for an answer. And I hope you join me here again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.